It's about Al Capone, which is his name is like Alfonsi. It was hard to pronounce that, but it's cause like in his life, it's like a lot of things that he did, a lot of big criminalistic type of things. But one thing that stuck out to me was the St. Valentine's Day massacre. I actually did like a paper on this in sophomore year, so I really thought it would be interesting to share with you. Wait. So this is a scene that I'm about to show you of a movie that depicted exactly what happened on February 14th when he went to basically do a hit on Bugs Moran, which is one of his rivals. So
This is in Chicago.
Okay, Mike. Quiet, Trench. George? Is that you? Hello, boys. Something I can do for you? Hey, shut up. I'll line up all of you. Face that wall. You, over there. Come on. No way. You, stroke. All right, you two, let's go. Listen, Buster. You better be kidding. Move. Cozy, flat feet. Wait till you hear about this downtown. Move! Hey! You! You on the car! Let's go. Let's go. Sir, I'm just in here. Let's go. All I do is work on the automobiles. I don't move. You know these people. Come on. Move! Hands on the wall. Lean on it.
In this movie was actually a true story. This is exactly what happened on February 14th and during the 1920s. This came about because of the bootleg wars, which meant like it was around the Prohibition time, which is when alcohol was banned. Excuse me, that's very distracting. Both of them. Okay. During Prohibition in the 1920s, when alcohol was banned, which led to a big boost in crime during that time, all because everyone this was their way of making money. So it's like their neighborhood and against this neighborhood, we want the most money. So it was the north side against the Italian Silicans. I hope I pronounced that right. Sicilians, thank you.
Sicilians.
Sicilians. Okay, so the Italian Sicilians, which was with Al Capone, and then the north side was like his rival gang. This actually took place on the north side on Clark Street, I believe. And basically, their neighborhood wanted more money than the next, so they always bumped heads when it came down to this. This St. Valentine's Day massacre came about because Bugs Moran, which is the guy that ran this group, the guys that died, he was called in for like a shipment of alcohol. So he told them to meet him at his warehouse. And right when he was about to pull up, he seen the police car out there. So he basically didn't come in, but his guys was already there, which is why they was a victim. One of the guys that was got shot, they Al Capone's gang thought that was Bugs Moran, so that's why they like proceeded with the hit before the men actually got there. So more in going into depth into the beef between the two sides is like O'Banian. He was the original leader of the North Side, and he was shot to death inside his flower shop by about 4 guys. So that is when he passed it over to Bugs Moran. Johnny Torrio was the guy who ran Al Capone's gang before him, and he was almost fatally shot, but like that brutal injury is what sent him off to Florida, and he passed his gang over to Al Capone because he felt like, okay, he has the great mentality and he could continue on with this. So that is when more happened. I'm so sorry. Okay, and the guy that actually tried to assassinate Al Capone his name was Wise, Jaime Wise. So, I'm sorry. I quit.
You were doing so good.
Okay, and so basically, Al Capone, he was really getting tired of going back and forth with this Northside gang, which is why he organized this. And I feel like he did this in a very good way because most of those shooters that was there, they was brought in from out of town. So it wasn't someone that was just about to be walking around the Chicago area, you know, that was involved in this hit. So I feel like that was a very organized way of doing things. I also admire the way the mobs was ran back then because it was always about business first. And I feel like that's exactly how it's supposed to be because relating back to like the modern day wars that goes on now, it's like no one's making money. So I really do admire that about them. And moving on to what happened afterwards. Basically, no one was charged for this St. Valentine's Day massacre, which is the notorious name that was brought by it. But 2 people were on trial, which they beat, but shortly after that, they were killed because of like they just felt like one day you're gonna rat me out, so they were killed. One of the guys that actually kind of survived, but like later died, his name was Frank. He was questioned by the police when he was on his deathbed, and he still told them like no one shot me. So I feel like that was a good value back then. Like no matter what happened.